Good evening. I thought I was going to find it very difficult to present this program tonight after Manchester United plumbed to a new low by losing to Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final on Wednesday. But here I am. Welcome to the program. My name is Guthrie Munyuki, and tonight we're going to be discussing the traffic regulations and their enforcement and the new things that have been brought by the Zimbabwe Public Police. And to discuss that with us tonight on the program is a very familiar face. That's the ZRP National Spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati. Commissioner Nyati, how are you?
Fine, and you, Guthrie?
I'm all right. Are you Man U? Or are you Highlanders?
I support the Zimbabwe national soccer team.
I know you support Manchester United. You support Man United. Look, it happens. It happens. I think it gives us an opportunity to have a proper reset for next season. Commissioner Nyati, Zimbabwe is a buzz with the new regulations that you have actually introduced, which saw you releasing at least 290 names of road hawks, people who have violated the law, particularly at driving past red traffic lights. What is the idea behind this, and are we expecting more?
Thank you, Guthrie. The starting point is I want to remind the public what the Commissioner General of Police, Commissioner General Stephen Mutamba, said when he took assumption of the command of the Zimbabwe Public Police. He talked about modernizing the police. He talked about embracing technology in policing. And precisely this is what the Zimbabwe Public Police is doing, with the full support of the government, with the full support of the treasury. So the Zimbabwe Public Police is not a secret, has embraced the electronic traffic management system with a way of improving the way the police conduct traffic enforcement. And also, in order to deal with the chaos which we see on the roads, to deal with the congestion, and to deal with the reckless driving conduct which has been openly exhibited by motorists on the country's roads. And some of this driving conduct, Guthrie, it's not a secret. It has killed people. It has, caused some people to be disabled. It has caused suffering to families. It has caused suffering to even industry, where people who should be working for the country have died, where people who should be working for the country are now disabled. So this is not something to play about. This is something to be taken serious. So definitely, the days of people behaving as if there are no laws in the country are coming to an end through the electronic traffic management system.
So your ETMS, what sort of, I know, look, people, they say that, okay, we haven't seen cameras on the roads. What sort of equipment are you using to make sure that you are accurate in terms of policing?
The electronic traffic management system is currently in its infancy stage, Guthrie. We have just, adopted a few roads in Harare, and currently it's focusing on Harare. And I will not name these roads for specific reasons.
Of course.
Where we are using the latest technology. And that technology monitors a motorist as he approaches a traffic light, on passing a traffic light, and soon after, when he is no longer at the junctions or at the traffic lights. And it indicates the date, the time, the seconds are also indicated. In the surroundings are also indicated, so that people will not cry foul. So definitely, this is something which has been long overdue for our country. And we are not working alone in Guthrie. We are also working with other stakeholders. The system is linked to the Zinara system. It's linked to even the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development. It's linked even to the local authority. Remember, the government is talking about the whole of government approach. This is what has been done, Guthrie. That's why I'm saying it's in its infant stage. When it goes full scale, the people will certainly be knowing the roads covered. And one of the issues which is very important, Guthrie, when we did the press statement on the 17th of May 2025, we had legal advice. Legal advice which said we could not publish the full particulars of the motorist. But after the publication of the statement, I know there were a lot of insinuations by members of the public, by some people who also purported to be experts. With regards to that, I can now conclusively and exclusively confirm on Vantage tonight to say we are now revealing, 1, the registration number of the vehicle, 2, the registered owner, 3, the address, 4, the contact details, so that people will see that we mean business in terms of the safety of the public. We mean business in terms of the maintenance of law and order in the country. We mean business in terms of dealing with the recklessness on the country's road. And in future, we will publicize the date, the time, the second by which somebody would have engaged in a particular traffic violation. And also the system, Guthrie, I also want to make it clear to the public, does not only focus on those who go through red traffic lights. No, the system also indicates whatever irregularity, whatever violation a motorist would have done. For example, some of the vehicles which we have, they have not been registered. They have no number plates. Some of the vehicles are even going through pavements as they approach the robots. I'm telling you the truth. Particularly publicized vehicles, the combis. So this is a wholesome approach which we're also calling upon the public to support and embrace.
The people of Zimbabwe, they like wholesome approaches to national issues. We'll come back and would want to know more about this system and, of course, the cooperation that you would expect from other stakeholders, including the ordinary Zimbabweans. Please join us in the second segment as we talk about the new system that are being enforced by the ZRP in trying to tame the chaos that is on our roads. Welcome back. This week, we are with the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and we are discussing the new system that they are using, although it is in its infancy, to try and bring order on the country's roads. And they've started with a selected few roads in Harare, but they won't review them. And discussing that with us tonight is ZRP National Spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati. Commissioner Nyati, before we went for the break, you were talking about not only are you dealing with drivers that go past red traffic lights, but you're also dealing with drivers that are driving unlicensed vehicles, drivers that are doing all sorts of misdemeanors on the roads, including having to drive facing oncoming traffic, including having to drive on the pavements and and on the cabs. There is a big question that a lot of people continue to ask. This is a very good thing that you are doing. But how are you making sure that as you punish those road traffic violators, you are punishing the right people? Because there's a big problem. I want to call it a mess, actually. There's a mess where cars can be sold up to 5 different owners without having changed ownership. So how are you dealing with this as you enforce this new system?
You know, firstly, I want to thank you, Guthrie, for raising this very important question in our country. We are fully aware as the Zimbabwe Republic Police that we have a challenge of people who are selling vehicles of people who are exchanging vehicles. But due to various reasons, they are not effecting change of ownership as required under the Vehicle Registration Licensing Act. And some of these vehicles, they are getting involved in accidents. Some of them, they are getting involved in armed robbery cases. It becomes a challenge in tracing. For example, one car is sold to 7 people. And as the police, we have had to trace, just imagine, 7 people until we get to the right person who is owning that particular vehicle. So we have an operation Guthrie, and I want to reiterate, we have an operation where we are targeting all vehicles so that people can account for their ownership of vehicles. And this includes vehicles which are being driven on the country's roads without displaying number plates. The laws are very clear, and we have been assured by the Central Vehicle Registry through the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development that we don't have a shortage of number plates in the country. In any case, the number plates are now being manufactured in Zimbabwe by local institutions, by local companies. So there's no need for people not to acquire number plates. So definitely we are going to ensure that this operation is comprehensive, and this operation precisely makes sure that people duly register their vehicles and effect the required change of ownership. One of the issues which we are going to do, Guthrie, we will engage CVR to also remind people the laws are also clear that when you have changed the address, you must also make sure that where the vehicle is kept, you notify the Central Vehicle Registry. This is done for the purpose of safety, for the purpose of security. So definitely the public has got a role to play in this trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Judging by what you are saying, we are on the right track in trying to make sure that there's sanity on the roads. But again, it appears as if there's a lot that needs to be done to make sure that there's total alignment with what we're trying to do. Which brings me to this question. The number plates are being manufactured locally, and we would expect them to be very, very reasonable in terms of their prices or in terms of their costs. A lot of people have complained in the past that a number plate would cost you up to $500 for a car that is below 1.5 liters just to change. What are you doing to make sure that you engage relevant stakeholders such as Zimbabwe Revenue Authority in making sure that when people change their numbers or their number plates, the levies that are supposed to be paid are not that high? And also the Ministry of Transport, when people are acquiring the number plates are sold at reasonable prices.
This is again very key, Guthrie, and I want to assure Zimbabweans that it is a matter which the Commissioner General of Police, Commissioner General Stephen Mutamba, is raised a point and is currently engaging the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development so that the necessary measures can be put in place. In the process, it will also be assisting in the maintenance of law and order in the country. But also it is important, Guthrie, to note that when one registers a vehicle for the first time, it is given a set of number plates or a registration plate. And I know previously, laws, regulations have been put in place to say each time a person changes ownership of vehicle, the vehicle has to adopt a new set of number plates. No, this has been changed. Mm-hmm. A vehicle which has been bought by Mr. Munyoki can stay with these number plates even if it is sold to another person. So what is only happening now is for those who are selling new or those who are obtaining or registering new cars. For those vehicles which are being sold locally, the person can opt to either change the number plates or not. What is required is for the public to approach the Central Vehicle Registry and get the relevant and correct information. Mm-hmm. This is very important, Guthrie. Mm-hmm. Only yesterday we got disturbed when a person brought his vehicle, a Nissan AD van, from outside the country, and he was driving from Kwekwe, and he decided to pick 3 people who claimed that they were going to disembark in Kadoma, between Kadoma and BF. So before they reached the Embrace Mine turn-off, one of the occupants just told the driver that he wanted to assist himself, to relieve himself, and the driver stopped. As soon as the driver stopped, they pounced on the driver, attacked the driver, tied him with some strings, and took away the car. Brand new car, not registered in the country. I'm telling you the truth. That's why we're saying every car which is in the country must be registered so that if something happens, the police can trace it. And I'm happy that with this electronic traffic management system, once it cascades to all parts of the country, some of these challenges will certainly be addressed.
Sure. Please join us in the final segment as we bring to an end this week's program, where we have been dealing mostly with the new traffic system that has been brought, that is traffic enforcement system that has been brought by the Zimbabwe Republic Police to deal with road hogs and to deal with those who think that they are smarter than technology. We are in the final segment of this week's program, and we've been discussing the new system, the electronic traffic management system, which is at its infancy, but which is being trialed right now by the Zimbabwe Republic Police as it seeks to make sure that the country's roads are very safe to drive on. And we have been with the ZRP national spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati. Commissioner Nyati, for those who are just joining us, they need to understand that you have been talking about this system having nabbed 290 people in the last 2 weeks, and you're also saying that you're now going to go further, apart from just releasing the registration numbers. You're going to release the names, the reg number, the address, and the cell phone. Yeah?
Certainly.
Yeah. Now, Commissioner, we can talk about all these things, but we know that for new technologies to work effectively, there's got to be, particularly on the roads, there's got to be proper signage, where you've got the proper address of the road. If you want to use your system, uses Google Maps, which I think it is using, where you've got proper signage, where you've got properly lit intersections. One of the challenges that we have in this country, but mainly in Harare, is that we have had the city of Harare that has abdicated in its role of making sure that we've got clearly designed road traffic signs. We've got clearly lit intersections. Someone last week wrote down 18 intersections that did not have functioning traffic lights. How will your system make sure that it works effectively where there are not even traffic lights?
Very important, Guthrie. The Zimbabwe Republic Police, as alluded to earlier on, is not working in isolation. We are working together with the relevant stakeholders, the local authorities, the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development, the Ministry of Local Government, so that these issues are addressed. That's why I'm saying even Zinara, they are also part of the electronic traffic management stakeholders, which the Zimbabwe Republic Police is closely engaging. So definitely, I know the issue of road signage, road markings, the issue of energy for the traffic lights to remain being operational is something which is very key. It's a wholesome approach, Guthrie. That's why I'm saying currently this is the infancy stage, but definitely things are moving. And also to inform the public that besides this electronic traffic management system, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has also embraced the use of drones in policing, particularly in the central business district. So what it entails is, like for example, at Harare Central, we now have drones there. At Blawe Central, we now have drones there. It also aids in terms of monitoring what happens on the roads. In the CBD, it will also aid in terms of, monitoring how motorists are driving, how motorists are behaving when it comes to the issue of traffic congestion. So it's a multi-pronged approach, Guthrie, which I hope our motorists will listen, our motorists will take seriously, so that people will not cry foul.
Mm-hmm. When you raise the issue of congestion, we always have set sites of police officers and municipal officers, having to spend taxing hours manning the intersections that do not have robbers. How much is it a drain on your resources as the Zimbabwe Public Police to have your people always having to man those intersections where the traffic lights are not working?
It's a huge drain, Guthrie. Remember, you have got an officer who should be doing other duties, either compiling a docket to take people to court, or either conducting patrols in residential areas or in business areas to curb certain criminal acts like armed robbery or unlawful entry and theft. We have had to spend the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year, just going to enforce the law at traffic points where people should be well behaved. People should also contribute towards the maintenance of law and order in the country. In other countries, Gathering, for example, let's go to South Africa. You don't need police officers to go to road junctions to control traffic. People control themselves. The first person to arrive is the first person to go. People are patient. People are not in a rush. People are not behaving like it's a war to cross traffic lights, even if they are not functional. Even when they are functional in Zimbabwe, you will see people fighting to go through red traffic lights. That's why I find this system is reviewed. It is reviewed clearly that you have motorists who do not respect or observe the country's rules and regulations at all. They willy-nilly go through red traffic lights. In the process, they cause accidents. In the process, they create congestion or even kill people. That's why I'm saying definitely there is need for motorists to have a change in terms of their mindsets.
Sure. It is crucial, seriously, to have deployment of police officers in critical areas which are consistent with their mandates, rather than to have them at the traffic lights. Because why would someone need a police officer to tell them that, please give the other guy whose lane has got a broken down car, give them way? Why would you need a police officer to do that? Why would you need a police officer to tell you that, please, it's the turn of the other guy to go? But obviously, these are issues of criminality and the issues of selfishness that are very much abound in our society. But before I let you leave, Commissioner Nyati, in the main, when you look at these traffic violations, particularly the passage of cars that flout the laws by going through the red traffic lights, and those that actually drive all the cabs or drive against one way, I know that years gone by, you would have those people not being fined but being taken to court. So as you continue to trial the new system, the TMS, ETMS, are you going to take those people to court? Because I would like to believe that it had been for fines, would easily have just fine them. But it is more than that. What is it? It is more than that, but what is it? Are you going to take them to court?
The laws of the country, Gather, are very clear, especially with regards to people who go through red traffic lights. This is very dangerous. This is very risky to the safety of other motorists. So as we speak, we are working closely with the judiciary to make sure that the appropriate sentences, they are meted out. If people are to be given a reprieve and then made to pay a fine at a local police station, we will be monitoring. And if a repeat offense is done, certainly people will face the due consequences. If it means the license have to be cancelled, definitely they have to be cancelled. Remember, 2 weeks ago, we had a public service vehicle driver who went through a cab in Harare while the combi was full of people in full speed gathering, who was then arrested after a report was made to the police, taken to court, sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. The license was cancelled, and above all, he was given a 2-year period not to drive any form of vehicle. I think this is what we want, so that drivers can take the issue of road safety and take it seriously for the benefit of Zimbabweans.
Next time on this program, we would also want to talk about the issues of the proliferation of illegal firearms in the country, the situation with the drugs, murder, and of course, better drink driving. But a problem, and
Definitely.
drink driving.
Definitely get it.
Yeah. So always a pleasure having you around, Commissioner Nyati. All the best. Sorry about Manu. We all commiserated with each other. And it's the same thing.
The coach has to go gathering.
Oh no! Not Ruben. Not Ruben. Ruben. No, am I? No, Ruben.
Wait and see for next season. What happens next season?
Wait and see for next season. Okay. I've got nothing more to say or to add and subtract, other to say, same time, same television station. Until next week, good night.